Welcome to another show. What? I was just being dramatic, just to catch people's attention, to make sure they know I'm serious. I'm serious about our vlogging. No, I really am, Paul. It means a lot to me and it means a lot to the viewers. So, thank you. Oh, big truck.
Jean-Louis.
That's what we call it in England. Jean-Louis.
That's what we call it in our house, anyway.
Are Jean-Louis still Waitrose?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the upmarket supermarket in Britain.
Yeah.
Waitrose, for the upmarket person who wants to show off in a supermarket.
We shop at Waitrose.
I mean, Waitrose, the only good thing about Waitrose is the aisle size.
Oh.
That's it. The produce is no better than Lidl.
When was...
Really?
Well, no,
When was the last time you shopped in Waitrose, Richard?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I was
actually,
going to ask.
it was when I had my COVID vaccination.
Yeah, because I asked you to pop in. We get one thing at Waitrose. One thing we get. Each month, we get 2 boxes of their brand sticks, which are like Kellogg's All Brand.
Anyway, yeah, shush.
But they're Waitrose owned
Calm
because
down.
you can't get them anywhere else.
No.
And they're cheaper at Waitrose as an own brand than they are buying Kellogg's from anywhere else.
Yeah, okay, baby.
And their buns.
Anyway, so let's rewind.
Sunday chat!
Yeah, that's right.
We'll start it off again.
So I'm quite warm.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you going to strip off?
I might have to take all my clothes off. We have a lovely roaring fire this morning. I resurrected the fire from last night, which just means using the hot, burning, glowing embers to rekindle the fire.
I thought that was... So are you like a fire god?
I
You can rekindle, give rebirth and new life to embers.
I am the phoenix that has arisen from the flames.
Oh, Phoenix and the carpet.
Oh, I love the phoenix and the carpet.
Maybe we'll read that at some point. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Paul, hold your
Phoenix and the
horses.
carpet.
Hold your horses. Let's just backtrack and start the day with Richard and Paul's weather report.
Yeah.
Paul, what has the weather been like this week?
It's been relatively dry this week, apart from when it's been wet. But it's been a bit mixed. It's got a lot colder, hasn't it? A lot colder.
Hence the fire, because it was -1 last night.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I know people who live in Canada, blah, 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 blah. Yada, yada, yada. To us, that is fairly cold. And it feels cold. It certainly felt cold yesterday when I was walking home.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I've said this on A Week at the Plot, but when the sun goes down, just touches the tree line now, around 3 o'clock, 3:30, and if you watch A Week at the Plot, you'll know what that means. The temperature really does dip. So at the moment, it's gloriously sunny with blue skies.
Beautiful.
And if you're in the sun, it will feel lovely, I'm sure. Hardly any breeze today. Hardly any breeze at all. If you're in the shade, it feels far, far cooler. Far cooler. And is cold. It's cold. But yeah, cold for the UK at least.
We've got the heating off, fire on, and we're just enjoying that glowing warmth.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
mean,
lovely.
it is lovely. It
It
is
is.
lovely. It's that sort of background heat. But last night, when we were watching TV, it was really belting out the heat, wasn't
And
it?
it wasn't that big. I don't build that big a fire. No, I don't, Paul. Because, you know, I'm trying to conserve the coal for as long as possible. We're only on our second bag.
Well, there we are, only on the second bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're a
so
bit
yes,
bigger than bag of potatoes, though, aren't they?
they're 10 kilogram bags.
They're 10 kilogram
because they're
bags.
more portable, you see. Are you going to repeat everything I'm saying, Paul? Because if you are, we'll stop right now.
I'm not going to repeat everything that you're going to say, Richard, so we don't need to stop right now.
Walking a thin line. Anywho, let's get on with the show because it's not going to be a long one today.
Week ahead. Weather week ahead.
Well, the weather week ahead is going to be, there is a potential for some snow. I don't think it'll happen.
No, I don't think it'll happen.
But they've said a 25% chance. So we could see a few flakes
We'll see. We'll see.
coming from the sky.
I know others in America and Canada have already got their snow. Had a snowfall which has melted and is sort of coming back.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I haven't been in touch with
Good
my
for
friend
you.
in Minneapolis. It'll be interesting to know how they are.
Okay, so we also wanted to say a belated happy Thanksgiving to all of our friends across the pond. We do hope you have enjoyed yourselves and eaten your body weight in turkey.
Or
Or not.
turkofu.
Turkofu? No,
Tof.
no.
What is it?
I don't know, don't care.
Tofu turkey. Yeah. I'd quite like to try one of those one day. I'm sure
Would
you
you?
can get them over here now.
Good.
Yeah.
So this morning has been cold and bright and there have been plenty of tits in the garden. What?
Oh, I'm such a child. I really am.
There were tits galore. Tits on the bushes, tits on the trees, tits on the rooftops.
Yeah. Were there any great tits?
There were great tits, blue tits, small tits, large tits.
I'm not surprised that there were blue tits because, as we said, it's cold.
Very cold.
Yeah.
So that was lovely. And also it's been Black Friday.
You saw a
as
robin.
well. I did see a robin and I saw two magpies on an aerial over the road.
And I saw starlings on chimney pots over there, and you saw a pigeon eating the berries on the Cordyline australis.
Paul.
That's our cabbage palm, yeah. Was it a nice sort of fat wood? Oh, it's there! It's there! It's eating, it's back! Oh, I think we should stop filming, just watch it.
No, let's carry on.
No.
So it's also Black Friday. Did you buy anything on Black Friday, Paul?
I went to Lidl. And
No, I mean, did you get any Black Friday deals?
No.
No, because
No.
some of those deals aren't really deals.
No, I was listening
they?
to a programme.
I was talking.
Were you? I was just trying to talk
You
across
can
you.
carry on. After I finished, I bought some hair care.
Did you?
For us, for curly
you?
hair.
Did you?
Because as you can see, this is an untamable barnet.
Unlike mine.
And actually I found a lot of the products that I use that kind of are given to me by our friend. She just gives us stuff. A lot of those products are quite drying.
Oh dear.
And I find my hair is quite dry, Paul.
Is it a bit like sort of brittle hay?
Yeah,
Oh,
It is.
Can you go on?
I just
Come on.
So I bought some cream-based products.
Right, like
Is
dairy cream.
No, creamy
We got yogurt in the fridge.
consistency. So it keeps the hair moisturised whilst keeping it styled and also pushed down a bit. Because my hair just expands in 360 degrees.
Compacted.
What?
Compacted. It keeps it.
Keeps it pushed down. No, I wouldn't say compacted, Paul. That's the wrong word.
Well,
I think.
pushed down. That sounds a
Tamed.
bit odd.
Tamed.
Tamed. Yeah.
So, Paul, we were talking about the Black Friday deals and how some of those deals aren't what they seem. And now my nose is running.
Oh.
Maybe I need to look for a Black Friday deal on handkerchiefs.
Maybe you could get a nose bung. And you could
Maybe
get
you could shut
that
up and talk about
and
what you
just
were going to talk
up
about.
there like that. So I was listening to a radio program this week, and they were talking about Black Friday,
Yeah.
and how I think it was Which had found out that only about 10% of the deals on Black Friday are the cheapest deals that you can get on products through the year.
And Which is a company that review products and services that you can subscribe to.
Yeah,
can't you?
it's completely independent, so it's not funded by any retailers or any big brands or anything like that. It's funded through subscriptions, so it is truly independent. And yeah, it was quite interesting that there was a TV. Someone was saying that they got a TV. It was down from £2,500. I mean, who spends £2,500 on TV? I mean, please. But it's down from £2,500 to sort of like £1,800, something like that. And then this person said, well, actually, the cheapest it's been this year, in the past year, is in March, when it was £1,500. And she was saying that Black Friday is very often just sort of when they're trying to shift things, and when the new products are about to come out, they try and get rid of the old products for Christmas, yeah, which will of course be the next big chugger of buy,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, don't get taken in by deals. And there's several sites where you can go on and you can see when it's been cheaper, so you can know whether it is actually better to wait maybe than buy now. And I think there's also one called Camel, which is good for Amazon. So if you buy from Amazon, Camel, I think it is, that does Amazon pricing. So yeah, quite useful.
So what you're saying in a nutshell, Paul, is maybe check those price websites before splashing out on a Black Friday deal.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paul. I think everybody will find that extremely useful.
And of course, Black Friday is a very American thing. You know, it's another thing that's come over from America and has been sort of...
Another thing.
Yeah, you know, a bit like the sort of... You know, we used to have lovely Halloweens, and now Halloween is just full of tat. You know, it's another thing that's full of tat. And
are you blaming America for that, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do apologise on Paul's behalf, seeing as that a huge percentage of people that watch us are in America.
We can create lots of our own tat, don't get me wrong, but yeah, there's a lot of tat around Halloween now, just Halloween tat.
I mean, there are a lot of... We are influenced very often by America.
We are.
And that's been so for an awful long time. It's nothing new.
It has.
I mean, when we were kids, there was a huge influx of American television.
Oh, yeah.
Which I absolutely love. And I still maintain to this day that the Americans are far better at comedy than we are.
Yeah, I think so. Generally. Yeah.
The way comedy is scripted and shot.
But of course, they've got like 24 writers writing on one show.
But it's the rhythms of language as well. You know, I find sometimes the way that the American accents, which I adore, especially the southern accents. Paul, stop it. I'm trying to talk. Really. Especially where the delivery of lines in American accents is given. It's just the rhythms and the speeds, you know. I love it. You may continue now, Paul.
Haven't we finished?
You mean you can't remember what you were saying?
No, you interrupted my flow. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that we do now in the UK that have come over from America, basically. And also a lot of things that happen in America that have come over from the UK.
Thank you, Paul.
So yeah, when you're looking for deals, make sure you do get a real deal.
We were also having a conversation, which we thought we might mention, around the ergonomics of packaging.
Oh.
Now, I don't know about you, Paul. I mean, I take a drug every day, and the most recent batch are in a blister pack, which is virtually impossible to easily pop out.
Yeah. I'm finding medicines increasingly difficult to get into and then to dispense to take it.
I mean, I remember your mum
Oh, I mean, Mum was
Doing
having
her
huge difficulty.
medicines and doing
Yeah.
them for the week, and she had her own little system, but she would find it harder and harder
Absolutely.
I mean, do these companies not think about the aging population? It's like the Sure deodorant.
Oh, yeah, for
Roll-on.
men. Ridiculous.
We use roll-on because I don't like spraying things all the time. I do use hairspray, but I tend to walk out of the room when I've done it and let it fall to the floor.
Yeah, where I
Right.
then slip on it. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just sort of ping out of your hand because there's no grips.
No.
And I understand they've probably done that to save money,
But
to make the packaging simple, but it doesn't work. And the other thing we talked about this morning was this strange oat milk carton.
Yeah. So yeah, I bought a new oat milk, new to us. We've not had this brand before, and it was on offer. And I thought, yeah, that matches really well. We'll have that. But the Tetra Pak, 'cause it's like the Tetra Pak, is really smooth on the sides. It goes to a sort of cone,
Like a pyramid shape.
like a
isn't
pyramid. It goes to a pyramid, and it's obviously got its top up there. But trying to pick it out of the fridge is really difficult because because of the pyramid, because of the top, it sort of slides out of your fingers, and then if you try and grab the girth of it,
Oh, girth.
it sort of slides again because it's so smooth on the sides. It's quite...
Yeah,
and
I found it a bit tricky.
almost dropped it out of the fridge when I took it out of the fridge. And it's just really awkward.
And it's weird, isn't it? Because that's the whole thing, the whole thing, the potential for things to happen. So, pick out of the fridge, drop
Drop
oat
on the
milk
floor.
on the floor,
Goes all over
spill
the floor.
milk on the floor, because maybe you haven't put the top on properly, Paul. Have to clean up mess, get annoyed. Now, if you add a few years on,
To us.
that's a real issue.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's bending down, blah, 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 blah. Having to put the big light on so you can see electricity. And it
Oh, and
sounds,
that's another thing.
sounds a bit trivial, but to older people, it's not. And I just don't understand why they try all these crazy things. I've got this vision of a room full of 12-year-olds
Yeah.
deciding, oh, why don't we try this? Because it'll shave off 2p per packet if we use this shaped packaging.
Yeah, and it makes it just awkward. I remember when you were saying about reading things, on the bird's eye dried custard powder that you used to get, there was a big yellow area for text, and the text was tiny. It didn't use up the whole area, and it was absolutely tiny. And I remember dropping an email to Bird, sort of saying, why is this text so small? I mean, I can hardly read it with my reading glasses. And I've now noticed that has changed. Whether it was a printing error at the time, I don't know. But I've noticed they use the whole area of yellow now, and it's much bigger. But that is an issue. As we get older, things become more difficult to read or to handle.
And also, it's not just about age. In my business, disabilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
You start to really see how society is so not geared up to people with disabilities, in many, many ways, both accessibility of reading stuff, websites. Kate Bush,
yeah.
I've got a bit of an issue with Kate Bush recently. Her new website was released with all these new vinyls and stuff that you can buy, which I don't agree with because it's about the music.
And it was a rebranding of the site
Rebranding
as well.
of the site. It was virtually unreadable. And there was comment after comment after comment on Facebook saying, we can't read it.
If the font was so thin.
And grey on white background.
Yeah.
Or an off-white background. And literally, I've got terrible eyesight anyway. I could not read it. And I thought, this is crazy. Somebody has designed this. And then approval has been given. Where is the accessibility, especially for people who are visually impaired, So,
And then 2 weeks later...
it got changed because I think there were so many complaints. It certainly wasn't a reaction to my complaint. There was lots of people saying it. But people don't think. You know, society is geared up to able-bodied people.
I mean, we were watching, we don't usually watch this, but we were looking at, watching Mary Berry last night or the night before, and she was making a vegetable chilli, and she was opening tins of beans, and of course she has a malformity in her hand anyway.
I think it's arthritis.
I think it's arthritis, yeah. So, and finds it difficult to open things, you know, and she is getting older as well, but she was having to use a spoon to lift up, you know, the newish ring pull on cans. You know, she was using a spoon one way to pull the ring pull up, and then she wasn't able to use her fingers to pull it, so she was then using the spoon the other side to lever it up. And it was sort of like, that shouldn't really be necessary. You know, it shouldn't be made more difficult for people to get into things.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because we have a delivery of water bottles at work, that go into the fridge for customers and staff to use. And I can't remember the brand of water that it is, but it's still water, you know, ordinary small bottles. The lids on them are so tight and the plastic is so flimsy that what ends up happening is you're struggling to open the lid, and then as you open the lid you squeeze the bottle and all the water flies out. And I'm meant to give these to people who have disabilities, you know, or older people as well, parents, some of the parents, you know, would you like a bottle of water? Oh yes please. And then they can't get it open, and when they do, they spill water over themselves. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And of course, you have water bottles. You have a water station anyway, don't you? A separate one, but this is for sort of when there's meetings, and there's also, I assume, a clinical side to it of cleanliness and that type of thing. And and
this is ordered from the NHS supplier. You know, and unless these things are brought to people's attention, they won't change anything.
No.
So, you know, I would always say send an email to the company, make a complaint, do it in a nice way, and it could go towards getting things sorted.
Yeah,
you know?
And there's many things like that. In my daily life, you know, several times a week I come across something now that is difficult to use. Yeah.
There you go. Let's move on. We also got another whinge, haven't we? I don't know whether you remember, but we made quite a large donation of things to cancer research, of you know, stuff we were getting rid of.
Yeah, and there were some really good quality Levi things in there, and so high value items for them.
And they wrote to us and said, thank you for your donation. It has raised X amount of money, a couple of £100.
Yeah, it was we got 2 letters in the end, and it was 300 and something, 380 quid, 360, 380.
You then got a tax bill.
I then looked at my tax online a couple of weeks ago, and it said I owed £80 in tax, and I thought that's really odd, because in that year I earned very little, and I pay via PAYE anyway, so all my tax would be taken. But in that year I had earned really quite little. It was sort of just gone past the pandemic, and it turns out that because I'd filled in the what's it called? Gift aid form. And because there's tax that they reclaim on that, I have to now pay HMRC this amount of tax because I haven't paid that amount of tax over that period of time. So not only did we gift clothes and bric-a-brac to cancer research, fill in the gift aid form thinking I was doing good because they'd be able to reclaim tax. I thought from a pool of tax, but no, now I need to pay HMRC 80 quid because they've reclaimed the tax, and because I haven't paid enough tax, I need to now pay 80 quid to HMRC to balance off the 80 quid they've paid Cancer Research.
So, moral of the story, won't be doing that again.
No.
We'll certainly be donating,
Yeah.
but we certainly won't be ticking the gift aid box again.
No, absolutely
no way,
not.
Man.
You know, it's insane that I've now had to pay £80 to donate £380 worth of goods.
So, let's move on with the show, otherwise it will be far too long.
Far too long.
So,
As the actress said to the bishop.
today is Stir Up Sunday
Yeah,
for doing
it is.
Christmas puddings.
It is.
Isn't it? It's the traditional day that the mixtures were made for
The Christmas pudding.
Christmas cakes and puddings.
No, puddings.
Just puddings?
Puddings.
Okay, just a pudding.
Yeah, so the family would get into the kitchen and would stir up, and they'd make a wish. And Poirot actually does this in one of his stories. So we made Mum's Christmas puddings several years ago as a cookery video, and many people ask us about, could you do more cookery videos, which we are planning on doing. But there's a load on our playlist already, and most of them, I think all of them, are vegetarian, and many, many, many of them are vegan.
Yeah.
So do have a look at those. But yes, if you want to make Christmas puddings, and if you want to make my mum's Christmas puddings, which were just glorious.
Gorgeous, and they were individual as well.
Yeah, these were,
Steamed
individual
Lovely,
ones.
Paul. Thank you for that.
I might have to make some.
In other news, the newsletter for December will be out.
A week tomorrow.
Sorry, just checking the fire. Log just moved around. It's okay. Good.
You need to be careful when your logs move around.
You do. Also, to announce, you heard it here first, the Read Along Live will be Sunday, the 10th of December at 1600 hours GMT.
Yeah, UK time.
GMT.
So the 10th of December, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if you're in the UK. Obviously, add or subtract your time for other areas of the world.
We chose that time because we feel it's probably the best one. Look, we can't satisfy and bend time and space for everybody. But of course you can re-watch. Mm-hmm. Once it's finished, you can watch again and comment. And obviously we will engage with those comments, so you won't get left out.
And if you are watching it not live, you can actually also, there's a live chat, you can click on live chat and you can see what other people have said as well.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to compare your thoughts on the books that you are reading with other people and with what we've said, obviously, in the live.
It's not a replacement for Sunday chat.
It's not a replacement for Sunday chat! No.
Sunday chat will be out as normal that day.
And
thank you.
After we finish recording this, I am going to be going to the library to pick up the OWL service, because I got an email this morning to say that the OWL service is ready for me to collect from the library. So I'll be collecting that so that I can read that. I'm still waiting for my Thursday Murder Club. I do know somebody around the corner who has said I can borrow it. So if I don't get that from the library in the next sort of maybe 4 or 5 days, maybe by the weekend, next weekend, I'll borrow it from them. Theirs is a hardback, and I have to say I prefer paperbacks. I know that's anathema for Vivi in particular, because she loves hardbacks.
I find hardbacks are too heavy. If they're too big and heavy, I don't find it comfortable. Actually, that's what I find great about the Kindle, because it's very light. Not that I'm using a Kindle, but I used to. Very light and very portable, and can carry hundreds and hundreds of books.
Yeah.
So there are pluses and minuses
Absolutely.
across the board with these things.
Absolutely.
Paul.
And of course you can get books, as we've got the link below to our Amazon thing, so you can buy from there. You can buy from bookshops, you can buy on World of Books. There's a host of areas that you can buy from, and hopefully you can sort of pick up in some sharing places, charity shops. but hopefully you'll be able to get our books in your library, which would be really great.
I've read The Owl Service now.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to say anything about it. And I've also read sections of the Mabinogion.
Right.
So,
okay.
yeah.
And I am reading other books at the moment. I think I've read 3 in the last few weeks. One that I just started, The House of Silk, which is by Anthony Horowitz, who many of you may know. He created Midsummer Murders and Foyle's War and things like that. And this is a new Sherlock Holmes, and it's quite interesting. And I'm sort of a bit of the way into it. And I'm going to see if there's another one, because we might have this at some point, or one of these at some point. Because it's quite interesting having a writer write in the style of another writer, which of course sort of this is. So, yeah.
Very good, Paul. Thank you so much. Let's crack on with what have we watched on the telly this week?
It's been a bumper week this week, really. Yeah.
We kick off with Louis Theroux's interview with Dame Joan Collins. I was really looking forward to this because I love Joan Collins. I think she's fabulous. She's just been around forever, hasn't she, Joan?
Yeah, well,
Old
she's...
Joni.
What is she, 89, 90? 90?
90, I think she is
90.
now, isn't she? I was a little bit disappointed.
It was quite light.
It was very light. It was floating off the TV screen.
Yeah. But I still enjoyed it.
I've seen far better interviews and far more animated interviews with Joan Collins on other shows like Graham Norton.
Yeah.
That were far more fun. Because I think she's quite a fun person.
Yeah.
But it was nevertheless good to see that she's doing fine, and I mean she's still a beautiful woman, you know, so elegant and just lovely. She just comes across as a lovely person.
Yeah.
You know,
I've met her a couple of times. Once when she was in a show with a Basque and a Whip. That was quite interesting. But yeah.
So that was okay. We've been watching a show called Between the Covers, which is a book review show, which is available on BBC iPlayer.
There's several series, and I think we're in the 3rd series, and I've just started watching it. So yeah.
So that's quite good, quite recommended. There's also a fabulous little show called Winter Walks on BBC iPlayer, which is a different person each week, and the walk is filmed using a 360-degree camera that the person walking carries, and they're walking alone, and there's been a lot of walks in Yorkshire.
There have been, yeah.
So that's
Winter Walks, absolutely lovely.
Really lovely. There's no music, is there?
No.
It's just the sounds of nature.
I don't know if you remember us talking several years ago about a one-off called the Country Bus, which was a bus going around the Yorkshire Dales.
All aboard the country bus.
All aboard the country bus. If you can find that, have a watch of that. That was
great.
rather lovely too. Nice and quiet and calming.
Yeah. We've also started a new series called Murder at the End of the World.
Yes.
Which was a good start.
Yeah. We watched one episode quite a few days ago. But yeah, it's from the same creators of the OA. And yeah, we enjoyed that, and we're so far enjoying this one.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next episode. We continued with Foundation.
Yeah.
Which...
You fell asleep again.
Yeah, I can't really remember what happened. Obviously, we continue with RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
UK, Season 5.
Loving it. I mean, it's just
been
great.
A really good season.
And I was thinking last night, you know, there's so many stock phrases that Ru has, but they always seem so fresh. You know, each episode, it's very unusual to see something which is so formulaic feel fresh, and that's great.
Lovely. You've started Shetland.
Yeah, so I've carried on with Shetland. I started it last week, and I'm enjoying it. And I think you would enjoy it. I think it's quite good.
Not enough hours in the day to watch.
No, that's true.
Frankly.
No, I sort of watch Shetland on an afternoon when he's at work and I'm maybe doing something on my tablet or something I can do on my tablet. I don't want to do it at my desk, so I'm working and I sort of doing this and doing that. It's something that I've done with Murder, She Wrote as well, so yeah.
We carried on with Mrs. Sidhu Investigates.
We did.
And it was a great episode, and we suddenly realised that a portion of it was filmed in Hanwell. And we actually saw our neighbour go past with their dog.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether they realised they were filmed. It must have been a really small crew. Can't have been... Because
it won't have been a large
if you've
crew.
got ordinary people walking around, not going, oh look, there's a camera.
Yeah.
It must have been very low key.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good episode. Actually, we quite enjoyed it. It's really warmed in.
It was the last episode, and it was the best episode by far.
The characters are certainly established now, and I love Meera Syal anyway. It's become familiar now.
Yeah, and the balance of sort of fun and seriousness
I think
in
they've
this
got
episode
it right now.
Was really tweaked correctly.
They've got it right, which is good. We watched Question Time on Thursday, which was all about the autumn statement, taxes, all of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all about really our government just messing things up even more.
As usual.
When you've got underfunded services in the UK like our NHS and many, many others, what you don't require is tax cuts.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I mean, really?
Yeah.
Really? I would certainly pay an extra couple of quid per month if I knew it was going to a good cause. That's the issue, I think. They're so afraid of not being voted in next time. That, they're taking their eye off what actually matters, and that is keeping the bloody country running and keeping the services running for the people. Governments exist for the people, not for themselves.
And I'm forecasting now, and it's something that we might benefit from, but I'm forecasting now that the spring budget will see inheritance tax either greatly reduced or abolished, and it will see a stamp duty holiday come in for at least 6 months. So we will see.
You heard it here first on Richard and Paul. Remember, if you want it all, watch Richard and Paul.
Yeah, there we are.
So we've also watched Murder, She Wrote with our lunch and our dinner. We've seen a couple of episodes that I've certainly never seen before.
Yeah, it's funny. It's series 3. And I think it's one of those series that is broadcast less frequently than other series. So I think they're ones that we may have seen, but not seen for a very long time. Right. Or you may not have seen at all. Yeah.
It's time to go now. We're saying goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for watching yet again. The weeks just seem to fly by, don't they, Paul?
They do, Richard. Thank you for being here, Richard. And making everything so special.
What do you want?
Nothing, actually.
Thank you.
Because you've got your little notebook and we talk about things and you make your notes and you lead Sunday chats.
The show would be absolutely crap without me, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
It's all about me.
Yeah, I could never ever do a show on my own.
No. You do though, Paul.
Oh, do I?
It's called A Week at the Plot.
Oh, it was called A Week at the Plot. Yeah. Oh, there we are. Yeah.
So, bye for now. I better tend to that fire.
Need to put another log on.
Take care, toodle pip, au revoir, bienvenue, willkommen. Bye.
Willkommen, isn't that
welcome? Yeah. Welcome to the end of the show.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Just winging it.
Bye.
Bye.